On the Leaf, a light-hearted guide for the novice butterfly counter.
Hi, welcome to another episode of On the Leaf. There are 26 weeks in a butterfly counting season. The second week in April brings cold nights, frosty mornings, and very chilly days. So we miss that week, we can't count. But by Saturday the 17th, it's 13 degrees, the minimum temperature we are allowed to count in, so we set out in a light wind with 100% sunshine. Our last count on April the 1st gave us 12 butterflies. Today will give us 21. Our top butterflies will be the Brimstone, the peacock butterfly, and the top moment of the week? An attack down a long dusty path. Straight off on the transect we see 5 Brimstone and 2 peacock butterflies, all flying over bramble, just down the gate along the wide path. Then, around the corner in the large open space, another 2 of the Brimstone and another peacock butterfly are spotted. Along the main path that runs the length of the common, we count 4 more Brimstone, 1 other peacock, and an orange tip, our very first of the year. The bright orange tips of the wings that you might have seen belong to the male, easy to spot as he flies against the fresh greens of spring. The wings of the female orange tip are whiter, yet both have this mottled underwing, visible when flying close, a lot more difficult to see from a distance. One advantage as a counter who sticks to the same transect each year is that you do get to know which butterflies come into flight, when, and in which order. The orange tip arrives before a butterfly called the small white, but when they fly together it can be very tricky to distinguish between the two, and if you have any of these, lady's smock or garlic mustard, in your garden, the orange tip will visit as they are its preferred food plants. Just along the wide path on the transect, off to the right, there's another first of the year, a tiny holly blue butterfly. It flies as low as my ankles along the ground, doesn't settle, and seems quite nervous. So I dip down into the cut-through where 2 peacock butterflies rise and fall over decayed bracken. The 2 meadows are strangely quiet, but the older buckthorn tree here in the middle of the first meadow is showing some leaves. It's a very important tree, not just for the brimstone butterfly, but also the holly blue. Both these butterflies will lay their eggs on its leaves. There are wildflowers here in the meadows, they're all coming through, the dandelion, garlic mustard about to burst into flower, cowslip, violets and primrose. Have you ever seen garlic mustard? It's got these really tiny white flowers that sit in a little cluster at the top of the stem, and these gorgeous heart-shaped leaves. This is where the female orange tip will lay her eggs in the flowers, or on those of lady's smock. So it won't be long before we're seeing orange tips flying here. Our second count of the year reveals 21 butterflies, 12 of which are brimstone. Before we leave the transect and whilst retracing our steps, we follow a peacock butterfly. It rises up from a dusty path as we walk by. We have disturbed it. As is so often the case with this butterfly, when it is disturbed it can be very aggressive. They are known to hiss when hibernating in a shed and you might approach it. Kick them off their basking or feeding spot and they will fly off, return to the very same place, and if you have still not moved away, they will fly right at your head until you get the message it's time for you to go. We stand and watch the peacock butterfly as he returns and basks in the sun. We try and get close, the sun before us so we don't create a shadow. Then this, a bee, at least I think it's a bee, comes from nowhere, dive bombs straight into the butterfly's eye spot. Bullseye. Some say the eye spots of the peacock butterfly give the impression of an owl, and it's often this appearance that will deter predators from attacking. But eye spots can also act as a decoy. Attack my eye spot, in effect, not my body, the body being the more vulnerable. Many butterflies will fly with damaged wings, and we recorded many of them last year, but a damaged body will be a very different matter. And here, the bee comes back again, after which the butterfly, being stubborn, opens and shuts its wings, recovers, but still refuses to leave its spot. Did you know that blue tits and small mice will eat a peacock butterfly? No wonder it's got to keep its guard up. We've had a few firsts today. Our first orange tip, first holly blue of the season, and now this peacock butterfly being attacked. What have you seen outside? You will have seen an orange tip, probably a brimstone, Or a peacock butterfly. What about this, one of the UK's rarer butterflies? It was spotted in our neighbouring chalk pits away from the transect, and in a place it returns to each year. But what is it? And if we go look, will we actually find it? Until next time.